So today we have a Polaris Sportsman 550 EFI. This is an XP. It's in here for maintenance and a couple other little things, but today this video is going to be on an oil change. Now these newer quads, new Polarises, are a lot easier to do the oil changes. They're more like any other oil change you would do, as in warm the oil up, drain it, change the oil filter, and put a new filter in and fill it back up. So it's very easy. It's not, you don't have to prime it like the older 400s, which were kind of a pain in the butt. I do have another video how to do that in some of my older videos. Actually, one of my first ones I did. So yeah, so first thing to do, let's get this thing fired up, which is nice. EFI, just turn it on. While that thing's warming up, let it sit and idle for a couple minutes. Right here, we're going to show you what all you need to do this oil change. Ratchet. Some way to get the oil filter off. You can use this. If you got some nasty, strong fingers, you can get it without that, but some type of claw is the best way to get it off. And then you need an, let's see if it'll focus, an number 8 Allen. It will not focus at all. Yeah, there we go. Number 8 Allen. That is to get the drain plug out now. And then you can buy these kits. See, this kit's only about 36 bucks. You have to run PS4 oil in it, full synthetic. People say you can run Mobil 1. If you're doing it on your own, you do whatever you want. But this is a customer's vehicle, so we don't do that. We run Polaris oil and Polaris fluids and everything, unless they call for that you can run something else. That's what I use here. So we have that grease. I'll show you where a grease fitting is, like a hidden one. A lot of people forget about. And then a little bit of oil in here, but an oil pan. So once you have all these things ready to go, make sure you have them before you start. We're gonna let her warm up here, and then we'll start draining the oil out. All right, the quad's warmed up. We're back in the shop here, so I'm gonna show you real quick where the filter is. And come on this side, and there's the filter. Now you're gonna see right past it, you're gonna see 2 holes. Now the first hole is for an 850. But the second one, hopefully you can see it there, is for the 550s. So that's where you need the Allen head to break that loose. Then we'll get the filter out of there. And see, you can see the quad's pretty dirty, so be very careful not to get dirt. Just keep it clean. Try to keep everything nice and clean. But once we get that out, I'm going to show you where the hidden, it's not really hidden if you have a manual, but where one of the grease fittings is located when you're greasing this machine up too. So yeah, let's get started here. Alright, while that's draining, you can get the filter out here and let it drain too. Now actually I had to go and get this. This is brand new technically, but it's been in my toolbox for like 10 years. I never used them because of that claw, but I actually couldn't get the claw fingers in there. But these fit in there nice and snug. So hopefully, I was never a big fan of these, but hopefully it grabs and the filter will come loose. See, that's, no, it's, okay. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I don't know. I was never a big fan of these. I guess they worked that time, but I've had them before that they just don't work. They don't grab them tight enough, and they kind of a pain in the butt. I didn't know what that was. It was well, I got oil all over me now. This is lovely. I'm gonna get a rag. I'll tell you what I found here. When I was draining, where I took that filter off, I was like, what in the world fell? Thought something was inside the engine, and I realized it's a rock. Must have been wedged up between the casing and the filter. because that filter was a little tighter than I expected it to be, and I think that's why. It scared the crap out of me though. I was like, well, that engine shot. But it's about completely drained, so we are going to fill the oil filter up, put the plug back in, and fill the whole engine back up and let it warm up and check the level. I like to go nice and slow, fill these up. I'm actually at the boss garage. He says to fill it out, so you're filtering it before it actually fills up the filter, which is a pretty good idea. But yeah, since this filter goes straight up, you can fill these up and screw these in so you got oil pressure pretty much instantly. I mean, usually they're pretty good with that, but either way, helps as much as you can. See, we're getting a little bit of air out of there, which is pretty cool. Actually, I always just filled it right out through the middle, but I saw a video of the boss garage and he was saying to do that. It's a good idea, why not? But also put a little bit of oil around the seal. You see, look at all that. Pretty cool. Alright, once you have it back in, you want to torque it. Now, the manual says 15 to 17 foot-pounds, which isn't much right there. That's 15, and that's where I'm going to leave it. But if you don't have like my torque wrenches don't go that low, you can convert it to inch-pounds, and 15 foot-pounds is like 180 inch-pounds. So if that helps you out, or you can just use your hand and just tighten it down. It doesn't need to be super tight. Now, the way they say to tighten the filter is you go until it seats, then you go half a turn. So really just want it snug by hand. You don't want to use the tool to really tighten it down. Just nice and snug, and it'll seal itself. You can see the filter, nice and snug. Yeah. Let's see if I can get over there and drain plug. Just torque to spec. And now, before you get up to fill it, while you're under here, right there, you can see that guy. There's a grease fitting. Don't forget that. You don't need to do it all the time, just a little bit, and you only put 3 pumps max in there. So it looks like it's been a while. Like this one, doesn't even look like anybody's hit it. 3 pumps max, and keep an eye on that. Put a huge hole there so you can put your oil. So that's what we're going to do. You don't need to see me filling this up, because anybody can do that, and it's kind of common sense. But fill this up takes 2 quarts, and after you fill it up, fire the engine back up, let it warm up, and check the level. Let's fire this bad boy up. I did see a lot of people ask about online about where they're supposed to run RPM wise. See 1660, 1670. Well, if you look, where is it at? Right here. If it'll focus, probably not, but it says 1650 RPM plus or minus 50 RPM. So technically 1600 to 1700 RPM is where you want it. It has your spark plug gap and the oil you're supposed to use. So pretty cool that they put it right on the frame here. A lot of quads might not have it if these have been worn off, but pretty interesting. Alright, so the quad is cooling down just a little bit after I ran it, but I forgot one point here is resetting this light. So we want to turn it on, see the wrench. Right here you can see it says SRV, and that's going to be your hours until it needs a service, so it's at 0. So what you want to do is, since it's already on there, you can scroll through here. I'll show you how many hours and miles, and there you go, your hours. So here, what you want to do is hold the mode until it flashes, and then you can click and change it. up to however many hours you want to put it. I think factory said 50, so I'm going to put it back to 50, and yeah, we should be good here. And just yeah, reminder, let's check and make sure it's good. So we'll shut it off, and when we turn it back on, that light or the wrench should not be there. Let's see, gone. So now we can change it back to wherever he wants it. See, here we go. Wherever, I don't even know where he wants it, but the mile per hour here, and then your RPMs. So pretty cool. So the engine is warm. Let it sit for just a hair, and we're gonna check the oil level. Pull the dipstick out, put a nice clean rag, clean it off real good, and put it right back in. Now, Polaris does call for that you screw this in completely to get the accurate reading. Tight, unscrew it, and if we're not, we should be dead center in the middle, and that's what we're looking for. So let's see where we're at here. So it'll focus. Yeah, right in the middle. Exactly what we want. So that's good. And once you're done with the oil change, you're good here. But when you're doing oil changes, you always want to check the air filter. The air filter is right here. So let's do this real quick. Pull this off. Pull these little screw bolt things out. No special tools required. Take the lid off and pull the filter straight out. Uni filter, a little bit of hair on it. Yeah, something was living in there. We'll clean this all out. But either way, I'll just show you how to put everything back in. It goes in here, and it just sits. Nothing fancy, just push it in there. Now, if it's not in there correctly, you can only get in there one way. That's correct, obviously. So you put it in, and if that lines all back up, and you put the bolts back in, you are good to go. Actually, this isn't the end of this quad. We are actually going to be doing the front end, the rear end, and transmission, but I don't have that oil in yet. So next video I will show how to do that. But this is a 2009 Polaris XP 550. The oil change is darn near exactly the same as an 850, except for the drain location. I'm pretty sure that's about it. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. That'd be wonderful. Subscribe for some more content on this quad. And yeah, I just hope you guys got something out of this, and life is a little easier on you. All right, guys. God bless.